Okay, go.
It's been a long road since the original Kicker christened that first pickup truck. It kicked off a car audio renaissance, and upgrading your music in a vehicle was a requirement. America's music machines became living loud over your passion, your emotion, your existence. Outdoors or on the open road, your sound is Kicker.
It's the Kip and Dave Show.
No excitement.
Are you ready?
22. We're doing it one more time. We're going to do another one. We're going to do this right this time.
Wicka.
Check. I'm Smeatlish.
Camera adds 27 pounds. It just seems like a
I know.
rough it's just
kind of, yeah.
This is Dave.
And Kip.
Come check us out. This is Kip.
And Dave.
And I got it wrong again. And we're going to have to do this again because we went down a different trail. Until then, this is Dave.
And Kip.
Come check us out. Come check us out.
Yeah.
Wicka.
I think that's good.
Just pick one. God, I hate the ending. There's no way to end this.
Just say, come see us. Just come see us. And just come see us.
So.
Come see us at the two locations.
Mic check. God, 1, 2, 1, 2.
It just seems so hard.
You there, Jimmy? You there, Mike? Mic check.
Oh.
1, 2, 1, 2. Jimmy?
Howdy.
Mike, you guys there?
Delmar Hogwallop here, coming to you from outside Mildred's Bait Shop in Lingerie.
Perfect. We're just doing a mic
coming,
check here,
giving a look-see
live
in on the
across the
Kicker
pre-rolls. I'm
Unmasked
sure everyone's
show.
enjoying that.
Those folks at Kicker, salt to the earth, make some of the finest gear ever tickle your ears. So,
you know, this might be the new
come
section of the
take
show
some time
called
off
"This
and
is
check them out.
Backstage Live," where we
remember,
figure out all the
whether you're
problems
looking for
live
night
in front of our
crawlers or
audience.
Mildred's is your place.
Obviously, keep an eye out on the right-hand side there, the private chat. If you guys need to tell us anything about the feed, we can tell you. It'll pop up in that private chat. It'll go red. Just like you guys do that. And I just need to check my headset and mics and levels. Everything here sounds good. Does I sound good on your end?
Yep, you do.
Yeah. Okay.
Music's my passion.
All right, I'm going to go back to
my
main feed. We'll see you guys here in a little bit.
In my DNA.
All right, see you.
My pals at
Thanks.
Kicker Marine Audio gave me a chance to take the music what I love and listen to at home, on stage, and in the car, onto the water. Hi, this is Jason Bonham, and I want to say a big thank you to my friends at Kicker Audio for inspiring the songs and the stories behind the music that inspires America. Go overboard!
The KICKER Quad Box is the most insane, ground-pounding, bass head-loving, preloaded subwoofer enclosure we have ever offered. It consists of 4 L7R 12-inch subwoofers. It has a total power handling of 2,400 watts RMS, and it's tuned at an amazing 31 hertz. Here to tell us more about it is KICKER's very own Jeremy Brown.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Brown. I've been with KICKER for 22 years. I work in the research and development department. In the early 2000s, I would run the Gates Bronco at shows like Daytona. We would do hair tricks, 48 10-inch subwoofers with 48 1,000 watt amplifiers. Really big build back in that day. We were able to develop some high output enclosures that were up above the 170 dB mark. We set a few world records with some of those enclosure designs and our woofers. We learned a lot about high output enclosure designs during that time, and we've been able to bring that to our product lines today. Within the last year, we introduced a new subwoofer enclosure with 4 L7R 12s that we call the Quad Box. Our Quad Box is built out of 3/4 inch birch. It's got a 1.5 inch baffle and a 1.5 inch bottom. We also use window frame bracing along with corner bracing to make the enclosure more rigid. We use a flared port to reduce port noise and increase port surface area. This type of vent design helps maximize output. We use the L7R 12-inch subwoofers because this allows you to use one KXA 2400.1 amplifier, and you still get big bass with fewer upgrades to your charging system. The KICKER Quad Box is the bass head starter kit, and if you're worried, it plays way below 40 hertz.
Do not attempt to adjust this transmission. We have assumed control.
The year is 1980. Music fights for its very survival in an acoustically desolate wasteland man calls automobile. Enter Steve Irby, a man whose love of music helped end this scourge forever and forge a path for modern car audio to follow. A humble musician with a passion for quality sound, Mr. Irby is a man who feels it is his destiny to provide a sanctuary for mobile audio. Welcome. Join us this evening as we venture back to the very night a young Steve Irby gains his inspiration to create the legacy we know today as KICKER Performance Audio. Though he does not realize it now, by this time tomorrow, Mr. Irby will have completed blueprints for the original KICKER and champion the war against mobile audio inequality. Tonight, Mr. Irby's prayers will be answered as he begins his quest into the Q Zone. KICKER L7QB8. With roots dating back to KICKER's inception, Mr. Irby and his team of engineers have achieved an unrivaled level of design and functionality. With extraordinary bass and a minimal footprint, the L7QB8 utilizes a seamless 1/4 inch extruded aluminum housing, allowing optimal internal air volume for the subwoofer. This exclusive design provides exceptional strength and stability. Like the original KICKER, the L7QB8 incorporates a unique passive radiator to minimize required airspace while optimizing the efficiency and frequency response of the subwoofer. Opposite the passive radiator, the L7QB8 is equipped with the all-new 8-inch L7 square subwoofer. The 2016 L7 features an aluminum basket for exceptional strength and thinned aluminum heat sinks for efficient heat dissipation. KICKER's blue lace spider, solo cone 360-degree back bracing, and a laser-etched cone brace combine as a single ultra-rigid unit. The result is increased clarity, higher volume, and added reliability. The square cone features over 20% more surface area than round subwoofers. It's attached to a Santoprene surround, then stitched to the cone for long life and durability. This surround features KICKER's patented ribbed corners, which fully dictates cone motion and extends surround life. At the base of the unit, a pair of custom-formed flanges integrate seamlessly with an extremely low-profile mounting system, consisting simply of a mounting plate and bar. Once installed, the overall height of the enclosure is only 9.5 inches. This profile is small enough to work perfectly in countless trucks, sedans, and SUVs. Once again, KICKER sets a new standard with the groundbreaking design and unparalleled performance of the all-new L7 QB8.
This is where KICKER started, right here in this garage right back here. It was a great place, but just a little bit small. And after about 6 months, actually, we got kicked out of here. My wife said there's entirely too much sawdust seeping into the house from the garage. But this was the beginning right here in the garage on 1412 Eastern Street in this little house. Okay, here we are at KICKER location number 2 down on South Main Street in Stillwater, Oklahoma. And this is the little house that we moved into after we got kicked out of the garage. Here we are at KICKER location number 3. We spent about 7 or 8 years in this place. We moved from the little house right over here into the Quonset when we ran out of space. We had about 35 employees. here we are, Kicker location number 4. This is up on top of a hill. It's a little bit windy here. We spent the years from 1989 until about 2006 here, until we moved into our new facility.
Do not attempt to adjust this transmission. We have assumed control.
The year is 1980. Music fights for its very survival in an acoustically desolate wasteland man calls automobile. Enter Steve Irby, a man whose love of music helped end this scourge forever and forge a path for modern car audio to follow. A humble musician with a passion for quality sound, Mr. Irby is a man who feels it is his destiny to provide a sanctuary for mobile audio.
Welcome. Join us this evening as we venture back to the very night a young Steve Irby gains his inspiration to create the legacy we know today as Kicker Performance Audio.
Though he does not realize it now, by this time tomorrow, Mr. Irby will have completed blueprints for the original Kicker and champion the war against mobile audio inequality. Tonight, Mr. Irby's prayers will be answered as he begins his quest into the Q Zone. KICKER L7QB8. With roots dating back to Kicker's inception, Mr. Irby and his team of engineers have achieved an unrivaled level of design and functionality. With extraordinary bass and a minimal footprint, the L7QB8 utilizes a seamless quarter-inch extruded aluminum housing, allowing optimal internal air volume for the subwoofer. This exclusive design provides exceptional strength and stability. Like the original Kicker, the L7QB8 incorporates a unique passive radiator to minimize required airspace while optimizing the efficiency and frequency response of the subwoofer. Opposite the passive radiator, the L7QB8 is equipped with the all-new 8-inch L7 square subwoofer. The 2016 L7 features an aluminum basket for exceptional strength and thinned aluminum heat sinks for efficient heat dissipation. Kicker's blue lace spider, solo cone 360-degree back bracing, and a laser-etched cone brace.
Good evening, everyone. Tuesday night, 7:35 Central Time, maybe about this point. Sorry for a little bit of delay. We're having some technical difficulty with some of the audio gear. Had to get that straightened out. Welcome to Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly. I am your host, Mr. Kip Litzy. It's my pleasure to have you join us this evening. Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time to the show, welcome. If it's your second time to the show or later, what are you doing here? You know, if this is your first time, we'd sure appreciate if you'd hit that like and that subscribe button. And if this is one of your many viewings of Kicker Unmasked Live, as we've told you in the past, man, this is just one way that we gauge interest in the show, the topics, know that we're on the right path. We're providing content that's interesting to you guys. So you don't have to do it this second, but at the end of the show, as you're walking out the door, man, if you could just smash that thumbs up button to let us know that the show and the content was something you appreciated, we certainly do appreciate that. It's just a two-way communication channel to let us know the content that we're putting together is content that you guys like. Along with that, if there's other content that you'd like to see, if you have an idea for the show or a product you'd like to be, maybe dive a little deeper into, or a technology, you know, we've done some really great demos here on the show. A couple of the last ones we did were actually on wire technology. A lot of people enjoyed those shows. But if you have any insight or input into something you'd like to see us cover on the show, man, please throw that down to the feed right here. We've got Bill in the back. He's taking care of all the social stuff, and he sees all those. And you can always reach out to social@kicker.com, and you can see, or you can send an email, and you can let us know any of that information. Jeremy, just a heads up real quick. I've got the wrong screen up here. I don't have the StreamYard screen. I've actually got the feed from the main camera system. Could you hit that switch box and switch me over, sir? Thank you very much. I certainly appreciate that. That way I can see what's going on over here in the live chat feed. As everyone knows, first time here, second time here, know what's going on. We run a contest every night just for the people tuned in for the show. We kick that off right at 7:15, so I'm sure you've seen it scrolling across the bottom of the screen. But just in case you haven't, you have until 8:30 Central Time to enter that contest. And then we pull the winners live here on the show, and we announce them right here on the show. It's just kind of a way we say thank you for tuning in and watching the show. It's a little gift that we give you for 3 lucky winners. And I didn't know that you guys actually knew what we were giving away. And so I always, made a big deal at the end of the show. It kind of became a running joke. So now I'm part of the joke, laughs on me. But tonight, what's really cool, our third place and second place, as typical, we're giving away EB300 earbuds. We're giving away a couple koozies. And then we're also giving away some of the unmasked T-shirts in gray. You can see that over my right shoulder, actually the left side of your screen, but my right shoulder. And those are going to be for second and third place. First place tonight, the koozies, you're going to get a limited edition black T-shirt. But what's really cool, shout out to Jeremy, he chose the prize for tonight. It's actually going to be a set of KICKER QS components of your choice. So I would say for QS components, I know it says components, but I'm going to say if you want to choose from the 6.5 or the 6 3/4 component set, and if you have a situation where you actually need to have a 6x9, I'm going to go ahead and say you could actually choose from the 6x9 coax that's in the QS. So it'd be the QSC for the components or the QSS for the coax. So that'll be part of the prize pack tonight. Grand prize, first place winner tonight, you're going to be in that. And of course, the link for tonight, scrolling across the bottom of the screen, is kicker.fun/SQ Masters. And of course, that's a tip of the hat to the guests we're having on tonight. And that would be Mr. Mike Flanagan and Jimmy Ham from Pro Audio Center. And then they will be joined right up with Mr. Mark Eldridge, Mobile Sound Engineering. And that's going to be a real good show. We got some great things to talk about them. If you guys have some topics or questions you want to discuss with them, bring them up in the feed. We'll gladly cover those. So that's the first part of business for tonight, contest for tonight. Second part is, don't forget that we are running we've gotten in the habit, we try to find a kind of a big prize to run over a little bit longer time frame, 4 or 5 weeks, and we are in the final throes of our big giveaway with MTI. And Jim Skaggs joined us 3 weeks ago now, I think it was. Could be closer to 4. Time flies when you're having fun. But Jim joined us. We talked about the entire setup, their under-seat enclosures they do for a lot of the crew cab type trucks. And we're giving away one of those enclosures along with a pair of L7T subwoofers to go in that. That contest is going to run until next Monday night at midnight. Then that turns off. And then that Tuesday show, we'll actually have Jim come back on, and we're going to pull the winner, and that's the winner for that MTI contest. So if you haven't entered the MTI contest, that is kicker.fun, and I know Bill will throw it up there too, /truck base. And like I said, that contest is running up until midnight Monday next week. So you have just a few days left to enter that contest. If you haven't entered, please do so. If it's your first time to the show, you wouldn't know about it. Here's your opportunity. Bill, again, will put that at the bottom of the screen so you can see that contest link as well. But that is kicker.fun /truck base. So that's the second piece of business for tonight. As always, we'd like to remind people that if you are on the northern side of the border, that'd be our friends in Canada, you are now eligible for any of the contests we run here on Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly. So if you're from Canada, Go hit those links, enter. You're now eligible for our contest. We actually had a Canadian winner a few weeks back, which was fantastic. And our good friends up in Canada, Gemsen Distribution, they are the people who are working with us to make sure that our enthusiasts and consumers and people who tune into the show, who are Kicker fans, can join our contest and do that. So big shout out and thank you to Gemsen for allowing that to happen. If you are a Canadian entry and you do happen to get picked for a winner, just understand it could take us a couple extra weeks to get that prize to you as we put it on the Pony Express, run it up to the border. We then have to do an exchange program for some Labatt's Blue. The Labatt's Blue comes over here. We send the gift over there. There's an exchange of tariffs and taxes, and everybody's happy. So just keep that in mind if you're north of the border, and thank you for tuning in if you are. Around the world, if you're tuning in, I know we get viewers tune in from all around the world. Thank you for tuning into the show. And as we find ways to work with other distributors in other countries to bring you into the giveaways here on Unmasked Live Weekly, we will certainly do that. Stay tuned. We'll let you know when that happens right here on the show. The pizza. If you guys have not paid attention, we are in the habit of just going live at random times and announcing certain contests and drawings. We've done several in the past months. And 2 weeks ago, we actually went live in the middle of the day, no announcement, said, hey, Jeremy thinks it's time to give away pizza dinner again. So we did. We launched a contest that day. It ran that day, that evening. We pulled the winner and announced it the next day on the show. He was informed that he was the winner. He didn't get the information. It kind of happens. He didn't check his email, didn't know he'd won, so he didn't get announced on the last show. This week, I would like to let you know that Joseph, and hopefully I get his last name right, Plumeri, and he is from the heartland of Kentucky. He was our winner of the pizza drawing, and he has called, let us know he did get his pizza tonight. So he's home right now watching his pizza get divided amongst him, and I don't know if he's got friends over or not, if it's all for himself, but they're enjoying a fantastic Kicker meal of pizza with Unmasked tonight, courtesy of everyone here at Kicker. So Joseph, thank you for playing. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for entering the contest. And you never know when we're going to do impromptu giveaway contests like that in the future. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button and that like bell so that you're notified, please do so, because when we do these impromptu drawings or contests in the future, that's how you're going to find out when and where we're going to do them. And we're going to do them short. They're not going to run very long. It's just something we're doing. The people are tuned in and paying attention. You're going to be entered in those contests for a chance to win. So Joseph, thank you. Enjoy your pizza tonight, man. Ernie, you got this beautiful slide I'd like you to put up on the screen. It's got a backdrop, and it's got a guitar, and it's got some other things on there, and it reminds me of horses, and you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. But it is the 25th anniversary of this little event they put on up in Kansas called the Kicker Country Stampede. Started off over in Manhattan, Kansas, and then 2 years ago, it actually moved over to Topeka. Last year was a washout, obviously, as a lot of events were for most of us here in the U.S., but it's back, it's on, it's approved, and it's going strong. It's going to be June 24th, 25th, and 26th of this month. Jeremy back there, besides doing the work he does, he is in full tilt boogie mode, getting everything ready here as far as assets from Kicker to go to that show. And what's going to be really cool, that's going to be the first event that the Unmasked studio crew, myself, Tim, Ernie in the back, Bill, Jeremy, we're going to be out at an event. And so that Tuesday night of that week, we're actually going to do a live Kicker Unmasked weekly from the event up in Topeka, Kansas. And then all through the rest of that week at the event, we're just going to go live at random times and bring you directly to the event live. If you like great sounding music, a lot of good food, a lot of good times, a lot of great vendors like us up there showing you the things that we have to offer and everything, you might want to come check out the Kicker Country Stampede. It's really easy to find. Go to countrystampede.com. Any information for tickets, location, hotels, anything you need to know is available on that website. And you never know, maybe we'll do a contest here on Unmasked Live for a couple of tickets. You never know what we're going to do. Hit that like button, subscribe. That's how you're going to get notified when we're doing these kind of instant drawings and giveaways. So with that said, I think that kind of takes care of the bit of housekeeping I had here in the mini. And I want to go over here to the feed and see who we got join us here tonight. Bobby B. Hello, Kip. Hello, Bobby. How you doing this evening, sir? Good to see you, my man. Living Loud with Andy. Here we go. What's up, Kick and the Kicker team? Andy, thank you for tuning in tonight. You know, Andy is definitely an enthusiast. He tunes in every night, or every Tuesday, but he also has his own stuff that he does on YouTube and Facebook. He has the Kicker Club on Facebook. If you're a Kicker fan, like the product, you might want to go check out what Andy's got going on. He is definitely an enthusiast. He's friendly, and he'll help you answer your questions. Deviant for Live, 28th show. Deviant, thank you for tuning in, sir. Yeah, it's crazy. We're at the half-year mark. You know, when we started doing this, people are like here in the company, so you're going to do these shows for how long? We said, oh, every Tuesday. Well, for how long? for a year or more. You know, we've started, we're going to keep doing it. And so we're here at the halfway mark. Thank you all who have been tuning in. If it's your first time, man, thanks for joining us on this rolling steam train with fun. Appreciate you joining us. We're having a great time here. Again, throw suggestions and comments in. We want to know what you guys want to talk about on the shows, not just this one, but the ones going forward. 25 Hertz to Life, Kippology, the wonder of science that is card audio. I like that one, 25. Good one there. Love seeing you on the other shows that we get to participate in too. You know, there's lots of other great content out there. Ben H., let the Kiplisms begin. Thanks, Ben. Appreciate you tuning in tonight. Deviant, I see me and Beardy, Yo Kip, Beating. See if there's anything else here. If you got anything back there, Jeremy, just throw them up. Happy Tuesday, Kip. Hey, Liquid Dragon 86. Happy Tuesday to you as well. Thank you for tuning into the show. We certainly appreciate you spending some of your valuable time here with us, and hopefully you get something out of it fun, informational, and hopefully a little bit of both. Yo, Kip. Beating NCP 93. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us here tonight. Tony. Hey, I see Tony there. Sup, Kip and Dip, RX Boom. Some of you guys, you know, I see your handles because I see you on a lot of the other shows like 12 Volt Talk, Reverse Polarity, you know, shows like that. So a lot of you, I see your names just pop out because I'm used to seeing you in those other things. We about to learn about fidelity, insanity, imaging, and tonality. Let's get at it. Oh, linearity. I thought that said insanity. Well, it is kind of insane, the things we try to do in a car, but the end results are pretty cool. Any other comments there that we got in the feed before we move on down the highway here, Jeremy? He's scrolling through. I'm looking here, see what's going on. Wheelie must be off tonight. You know, Deviant, I don't know. I haven't seen Big D in the feed yet. Sometimes he joins a little bit late, so he may be joining the feed later. I don't know. I haven't seen him in the feed, but you're right. He may be off for this evening. We'll have to see. I know Derek and Robert, Hi-Fi Vega, they both tuned into most of these shows all the time, but, you know, just like us, they got things to do, family, so they may be doing some family things tonight. Samuel Seal, you guys I missed, where'd Samuel go? Excited for another Kicker live stream. There's Robert, excuse me, there's Derek, and what was the other one? You guys make the Unmasked show. Kip gets too much glory. We all make the Unmasked show, and we certainly appreciate you saying that. Thanks, man. I'm just humbled to be up here being the one that gets to make all the mistakes live so that you guys get to have all the Kipisms you want poured into the bucket. Scott Williams, evening, fellas. Evening, Scott. How you doing this evening, man? Thanks for tuning in. I see Scott in a lot of different feeds as well. So with that said, if you see any others up there, just go ahead and throw them up, Jeremy. I'm looking through the feed as well as you're scrolling through there. Where you'd be wearing, hey, whoa, go up a little bit. Go up, whoa, stop right there. Whoa. Scott Williams, Kip, wait till you see the kicker system we are building for an international scout right now. Scott, sounds like you're building something pretty interesting. When you get that done, or even as you're building it, man, any pictures you've got of the building process or when you get it completed, be sure when you post those on social, you tag Kicker Audio, hashtag Kicker Audio, hashtag Livin' Loud, and also reach out to social@kicker.com. You can get those pictures directly into Bill Frog's hands, and he will post those through social. So any great pics, we'd love to have them. And if you send them to Bill, if he feels some of them aren't quite up to the standard that they need for social, he can actually work with you to tell you what kind of shot you can do to get a better shot. So Bill's a great resource of information on that, so reach out to him. Stampede, I'll be there. Scott, I'm looking forward to it. We'll have some tea. Maybe it'll be a little twisted. You never know. We'll twist the tea. That'll be pretty cool. James Lehman Patterson Jr. I have many Kicker subs and love my VR15s. You know, James, there's a lot of people that had a lot of love for the VR. It is a very popular subwoofer. You know, when the VR was first created, it was actually and still is a step up to the standard comp woofer. Of course, you step up to the VR, you know, bigger motor, longer coil, higher power handling, just more of what you love, more of that great Kicker sound because it's capable of taking more power, moving further, you just get more of it. So VRs are very popular. Thanks for that shout out. Samuel Seal, I want to see Kip full tilt buggy. I think you meant boogie, but I'll take buggy. Jeremy knows how we can go full tilt buggy. We've only did that once. We're not going to do that again. But we will go full tilt boogie, but no more full tilt buggy. Oh, I saw one else up there too, but I think it already passed by. Hey, Andy, you going to Slamology this year? I don't think Andy is going to make it to Slamology this year. If I remember right, I think Andy said he was going to do a different kind of trip this year. Maybe you can chime into the feed if you want to let people know, Andy. But I don't think Andy's going to be at Slamology. Mike Craner, hello, Kip and the Kicker family. Hello, Mike. How you doing this evening? Good to see you, sir. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully Lane's joining you, either live there with you or on another feed. I know that you like to watch this with your grandson, or maybe more importantly, your grandson likes to watch this with you, which that's pretty cool. Mark D. Paprocki, enjoying this on the Cush NC. Thanks again. Hey, you're welcome. Thank you. Cush NC, fantastic product. Glad you're enjoying those. There are some fantastic sounding H&P products. Dabiday, loving the black unmasked shirt. I wear it proud. Hey, you must be a winner. The only way you get one of those shirts if you're here on the show tuned in. Glad you're enjoying that shirt, man. Thank you for tuning in. Lane Craner, Kicker is always surprising us with things. I wonder what's going to happen tonight. You never know, Lane. We got some other knuckleheads like me joining us, and who knows what path we're going to go down or what trouble we're going to get into. Scott Franks, will Kicker be at Slamology? The answer to that, Scott, is yes, no. As far as supporting the show, yes, we are fully supporting the show, both financially with prizes and giveaways and all sorts of things like that. You'll see our name across the entire event. And there's actually going to be, we'll be there in presence at a couple different booths. There'll be Steve Barber with the Onum Clothing Company will be there. And we've also got Drew Jones from Bassaholic Productions. And I think they're going to be there with possibly some Kicker items you could see or pick up. Unfortunately, we're still trying to expand and get into this, slowly roll into this 2021 without the entire COVID experience, and we're being careful and selective on how close we butt our shows together as far as getting people into the field and then coming back and spending time here at home. And unfortunately, we had to pull that off of our travel schedule because we had another show prior and another show that butts up right after it. So unfortunately, we won't be there in person this year. We will be back next year, but we are fully supporting the show financially with prizes and trinkets and goodie bags and the whole 9 yards. So we are there, just not in person. And trust me, I wish we were, because I know there's a lot of people in this feed I'd love to see out there in person. So thanks for asking that question. We've actually covered that in another topic, but it's a good, pertinent question. People may not know. So now you know. Kip needs to come to Slamology. Sabers, I know. I get it. I'm with you. Roger Lockridge. Anyone going to be at Knowledge Fest Orlando at the end of the month? Jeremy? The answer to that would be a no. That's another one of those events that we pulled out of. We will not be there at the end of the month. Do you have something to add to that, Jeremy?
It fell on the same weekend as Stampede.
For those of you who may or may not heard him through my mic, the reason we're not going to be at the show in Orlando is it falls on the exact same weekend as Stampede, which is the end of this month. So come see us at Stampede. We won't be at Slamology, or excuse me, we won't be at Knowledge Fest in Orlando, but we will be at Stampede. And it's great to have Jeremy in the back and answer those questions out real fast. So, beating NCP 93. Yep, agreed. I'm with you on that comment, man. I see it up there. Don't think we can post it, but I'm with you 100%. Bobby B, are you going to Vegas in November? SEMA? Yep, we're going to SEMA in November. I will be there at SEMA. I know Jeremy will be there. I'm sure Ernie will be there. Bill will be there. And we're actually going to have a special guest join us in 2 weeks. And it's going to be Mr. Steve Barber from the Onum Clothing Company. And I want to save what we want to talk about for SEMA until Steve, he's actually going to be here on the show live with us. He's actually going to be traveling through this area, going back to his hometown in Vegas as he leaves Slamology. And we've scheduled for him to stop here in Stillwater, and he's going to be on that Tuesday night show after Slamology. So that would be the 16th, is that right? I don't have a calendar in front of me. It's the Tuesday right after Slamology. So Slamology weekend, it ends on the 13th to be the 15th. So our show on the 15th, which is Tuesday night. He will be here for that show, and we're going to have some great things to talk about. It'll be some interesting news and information. So I don't want to let too many cats out of the bag. Just let you know, tune in. Not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. So 2 Tuesdays from tonight, and Steve Barber will be here live to talk about it. It'll be the show right after Slamology. And the cool part is, I'm sure that he and Hammy will be with him. I'm sure they'll have some great photos and experiences to share from Slamology. So that'll be a great topic for that show. So we hope to see everybody on that show. We'll be talking to those guys live. Thomas Marshall, what's up, gang? What's up, Thomas? Thank you for tuning in, sir. Glad to see you here. Bassaholics Productions, hope to see you, Drew. Yes, Ryan, I hope to see him there too. I know Drew's going to be there. He just reached out to me this afternoon, had some questions for me, so I know they're going to be there at Slamology. Bassaholics will. Bassaholic Productions, if you want a solid SQ demo of a kicker system, stop by the Bassaholic booth at Slam. I'll have the Duramax ready to go with my favorite picks. Drew, thank you for that shout out. You know, Drew said he reached out actually a while back and was asking questions on product and things, and he did get a system for his truck. He wanted something to go in his daily driver that wouldn't take up room. He still need to use the truck as a truck. And Drew and I have talked a couple times over the last month or so, and I'll just randomly, out of the blue, I'll get a text from Drew, and it'll just go, you know, be like, Kip. And it's like, and of course I respond, what's up, Drew? And he'll be like, I just want to tell you, I know I've told you before, but that Comp RT 10 box just sounds amazing. It's tight, it gets deep, it plays wonderful, it makes music sound the way music's supposed to sound. And so I know he's impressed with the product, and it's going to be fantastic that he'll be there at Slamology. You can get a demo of that. So Bassaholics Production, he'll be over there. Go check him out, and you can definitely get a demo of a lot of this gear that we show you here on the show every day. It's in an installed vehicle ready to go. And Drew, thank you for giving us that opportunity to be in that vehicle, and thank you for taking the time to want to show it at Slamology. Sure appreciate it. Certainly appreciate it. Anything else up there? Flexin 500. Any TS specs yet on those 7Xs? The answer to that Flexin 500 is yes, no. We have some preliminary teal smalls on the L7X12 dual 2-ohm. Only the dual 2-ohm. And if you were going to build an enclosure and you were like, that's the exact woofer I'm going to use, I want to get started, that's the woofer I want, we could share those specs with you, but that's the only model, the only impedance that we have at this point. Now, what's really cool for me is coming up this week on Thursday, we're doing a listening test with an L7X10. So this project is moving on down the highway. We actually approved the 12 last week. So the L7X12 is approved. Hopefully that's going to get moving along, and then we're listening to the L7X10 this week. So the project's in full swing. We brought all of you in way early on this because we knew it was an exciting project, and we wanted you guys in. We wanted your feedback. We wanted to be able to share with you on that. So it's going to be worth it in the end. When those things come out, you're going to love them. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. John D, loving my quad box, but where do I send my hearing bill? Well, you know, there's this thing called a volume knob, and ironically, it goes two directions, not just one. So if you turn down just a little bit, if you're tickling your eardrums just a little too much, turn that knob down just a little bit. It's kind of like a gas pedal. Don't have to have it there all the time. It's fun to go fast a little bit, but you can turn it back down. Oh, that's funny. Bill Frog, Thomas Marshall calling out to him. Fun fact, Deviant was the first person to like the show tonight, but the contest is still rigged. You know, that one caught my attention. You know, Deviant, you said it before and I'll say it again. We had to admit the contest is rigged, but you know how it's rigged. We just can't pick you. That's the only thing. But your Beardy is enjoying his t-shirt. So thanks for tuning in, man. So with that said, keep the comments. If you see anything, hey, Bobby, the Kicker Goat says hi, Uncle Kip. Hi to the goat. A lot of people may or may not know that Bobby's mama goat had some goats, and he actually named one Kicker, so that's pretty cool. We had a picture of that on the show back a little bit. Mike Craner, mine's stuck at 11. Mike, your volume knob is always stuck at 11. Your volume knob, your bass knob, your bass boost. If it's a knob that you can turn to the right, I know it's stuck at 11, but I expect that from you. So, oh, the volume knob. Wondered what that did. Thanks, John, man. Thank you so much. That is funny, but that is the truth. But I'm glad that you're enjoying your quad box, which I don't know if anyone noticed in the opening shot. I'm surprised there haven't been any comments about it, and that's all I'm going to say. So I want my ears to hurt. 14-volt shirt is next. 14.4 volt shirt is next. RX Boom. That's an interesting idea. Maybe we could do a knockoff pun shirt. Never know. You never know what we're going to do here on the show. Okay, with that said, I do want to get into our guests who have joined us here this evening because we got a lot of great things we want to talk about. Keep the comments coming. If you got something here, Jeremy will find it and he'll throw it up on the screen. Give us Jimmy Ham. Well, you know what? Why don't we get us some Jimmy Ham? Well, I think he's back there in the studio, so why don't we get Jimmy Ham and Mr. Mike Flanagan from Pro Audio Center to join us here on the screen. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening. And I think I'm still trying to find the video, but I'm pretty sure I've got one of you doing full tilt boogie for way too long to turn too loud.
No,
so give me a minute here. I'm probably
absolutely.
And Drew is probably in the background there somewhere. I'm quite sure of that.
I never go full tilt boogie. I mean, why would I do that? It's only my catchphrase.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen it. We know.
Yeah, it's, you know, I'm just as bad. I mean, the thing about a good sounding audio system, and it doesn't matter if it's home, if it's pro sound, if it's car, truck, it doesn't matter what it is. It's just when you get into a good system, you turn it up a little and it sounds good, and then you turn up a little more and it still sounds good. It's just like, there does come a point where you're like, I want it to keep going louder, but where do I need to stop? You ever find that for yourself?
For us, it's usually when the neighbors call.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, the wall of boom here, that is the correct answer because, as you know, if you've been here, you guys know, sure. But right. We butt right up against a residential neighborhood. And there are people over there that, well, we tried to have a car show a few times, a couple summers here, and it's just the noise here just got out of control for them. But what was interesting is the wall of boom, you know, we were firing it off about every 45 minutes for a group of people. And yeah, there were some neighbors that they didn't like the wall of boom.
Yeah, you get to meet them all real quick when you do that.
And you get to meet the fine law enforcement officers of the city of Stillwater as they come down to let you know what's going on.
Absolutely.
Never had that happen before.
Oh, I know you've had it happen more than 10 times.
Nice.
You know, real quick, before we break, because we have another guest I want to join us tonight, but real quick, when we had you guys on the first time, and that's going to be kind of a loose format for tonight's shows, just, you know, sound quality, questions from the audience, you know, we could pick a topic and kind of talk on it. The Pro Audio Center as a whole, you guys, first off, if people do not follow you on Instagram or Facebook, they need to, because you guys post some amazing photographs of fantastic systems that you guys do at the store. And one of them in particular, it's got a lot of notoriety, I think that's the right word I want to use, is you guys actually put together a smart car. And I don't want to say, hey, Ernie, roll that beautiful bean footage. Let's yeah, that's good. So let's look at some pictures here first. I just want to go through this with you guys. So go on to the next picture, Ernie, and tell us what you got going on here, Jimmy, as you see the pictures.
Yeah, so 4 QL712s in there, walled off in a smart car. And it's been a lot of people look at that and go, no way that fits. And obviously it does, and it's just enough airspace. We actually end up going with a sealed design in this one because we really didn't feel like there was room for the ported box to work properly. But we have a few tricks of our own that we use to make it work, and it does work, as you'll see probably in a video here a little bit later too. So we've obviously built a lot of big stuff and all, but the fun part about this was a challenge. What can we do in this small of a space? And we're pretty happy with it. Turned out well, and he gets in a pretty good bit of trouble with it.
Yeah, we got a video for that. We'll get to it at the end of this. I want to save that for the end, but keep on going with the photos going through. I mean, it's a fantastic looking build.
Sure, yeah, we have a lot of fun. He likes to ride around with it a lot. We obviously did some lighting with it and all too, but it's another full kicker build all the way around. So, and actually that one's been together for about a year or so now and been just trouble-free all the way around. So it's worked out well, very reliable.
You know, I hope people can get an idea looking at this. And yes, you're a Kicker dealer. We're not the only brand you sell, but Kicker is one of your high lines that you sell at your store there in Pro Audio. But obviously, as we know from the last show, both yourself and Mike joining you guys have a long history in sound quality and building custom installs, and you're into audio. And I'm very sincere when I say this, is if you're not following Pro Audio Center on Facebook and Instagram, you need to, because you guys post photos that every single one is just like, this is a awesome looking build. When I look at the photos that you post, I want to hear the system, because if it even sounds half as good as it looks, it sounds fantastic. Wow. And this one here, this is a Veloster that you did, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's actually, I mean, it's really loud too, but this was more of a sound quality build, just something super clean. And it's only got 112 in it, but he's still doing mid 140s off of 112. But it was set up QSS, QSCs, IQ amplifiers, just a super clean, tuned out nice. And there again, lighting it up well, and he's a lot of car shows with it too.
Hey, Jeremy, scroll back up in the comment feed a little bit, and there's a response or a comment from Drew at Bassaholics. Keep going up while Ernie's running these pictures. Keep going up. It's up there a little bit. Right there, whoa. Put that up, because I mean, we're looking at great looking cars, but this is appropriate. This is true. You know, Drew was here, and you heard the wall of boom. We fired it up, and we did some after hours testing. And this is pretty cool, and I wanted to post this because of what he said. He says, we were the first people, and it is true, Drew, you're really the first people to ever meter the room. We just listened to it and go, yeah, it sounds good and it's loud, but we weren't worried about a number. And the meter of the room, all that the wall of boom is in, we got over 145 dB throughout the entire room, with peaks nearing 150 dB 50 feet away. And as Drew can testify to, and if you guys have looked at any of the videos we've done going through, I don't know if you get an idea of the space, the volume of air that is in our museum area, but it is almost like a circular room that's, I don't know, 30 foot tall probably. Would you guess, Jimmy? Does that seem about right to you?
Oh yeah, at least too. And I'm pretty sure I was there holding the mic while we were doing this, because it was a lot of fun. It was amazing. It was amazing having a load up in that room, though, because you're talking about a huge area, huge.
It's a huge room, and what's funny is that for someone like Drew and you guys to come experience it and get a meter out and play with it, is it was that bandwidth, and it was full bandwidth through the entire room. And if you've seen the wall of boom on display, it's not just the 16 woofers, but we actually have an array, a line array. They were designed after a line array fashion that's using QS components. So it's got 16 QS 6.5 and 16 QS tweeters up there in a line array, and it just covers that room in an even sound field that's just loud.
Yep, full tilt for sure.
The wall of boom is awesome. The XRV ain't too shabby either. No, Scott, the XRV is actually, it's supposed to be like the mini version of the wall of boom here. Obviously, it's there's a lot of power in that. It's a much smaller room. It's pretty cool too. So that's the mobile version of the wall of boom, what we get to take out to events. That's pretty cool. Yep. So before we bring in Mark, I want to show real quick, and Ernie, will you bring up, so the smart card that you guys did, the pictures look fantastic, but you provided a little video, and while the video's playing, maybe you can just talk over it, Jimmy, and give us an idea what's going on here, what we're seeing. So, sure. Ernie, go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage.
So this is, he's always videoing something. He's putting up videos on TikTok. I know he's got well over 1.5 million views on one of them right now. So he's just rolling down the road, cranking on it. He's always doing this and having some fun, driving down the road, listening to it, just hammering on it. And, of course, at some point, he draws law enforcement attention. As you see, he's pulled over, and he's thinking, oh, my God, what's going on with this? Next thing you know, he's like, hey, man, what you got in here? I'd really like a demo of it. So he's sitting on the side of the road with the Mississippi State Highway Patrol, giving him a little demo right there on the side of the road. So 4 KICKER QL712s, a 12400 lithium power added to it. It goes great, man.
That is just insane that he got pulled over, but he got pulled over because the officer wanted a demo.
He wanted a demo.
And
exactly.
This isn't the first time.
It's the first time, and I will say since then he's been the trooper has been in the store, and I think we've got him set up on the schedule.
Right,
too,
he's on schedule. I think he's getting under the seat box. Yeah.
Yep. What's funny about that, to go along with it, someone, see it here, it says, Alan Brockhouse says, are y'all going to upgrade the wall of boom with L7Xs? Well, Alan, when that time comes, we'll look at the box volume and tuning, and we'll see how those respond. And would I like to put L7Xs in the wall of boom up front? Yeah, I think I'd like to. And there's this guy, he comes into work about 4 or 5 days a week. His name is Mr. Irby. I think he might want to put L7Xs in there too. So we'll see what he has to say about it when that time comes. But yeah, it'd be nice to upgrade that to L7X.
You'll find out about the neighbors on the other side of town by then.
Well, it's funny is if we move, as long as everything lines up and works real well, and we got enough power, because we're only running about 1,000 watts of woofer there. But the preliminary test on the L7X, we're calling it. Right now, the 12, we're saying 2,000 watts, but it still sounds good on lower power. It's just 2,000 is kind of your max that we're rating it at. But the thing about it we should see is if we did go to L7Xs, it would just be a lot more output below, say, 35 hertz, and you'd get a lot more output than that mid-20s to mid-30s range. I don't know that it would get any louder across the whole board, but I think we'd get louder at lower frequencies because of the capabilities of that driver. So if we do that...
And of course, the low frequency is going to travel.
Yep, exactly. If we do that, and we do that upgrade, I think what we need to do is have Mike and Jimmy come back, and then we'll have Drew join us, and we'll do another test, and we'll video that test, or maybe we'll do it even on a live unmasked show. We'll just do it on a Tuesday night, and we'll do it here in the studio live and walk over and do that live. That might be pretty cool.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
So with that said, thank you guys for joining us this evening. We'll get into the meat and potatoes of it here in a second. I just had to show those photos in that video because I thought that was a pretty cool story. And again, follow Pro Audio Center if you don't, because man, they do some fantastic builds. I highly suggest you follow their stuff. It's great eye candy. If you're into car audio, this is definitely a store that you need to be following because they do A+ work. And with that said, we have what I like to consider another rock star of the industry. He's been around forever. He actually worked here at KICKER for several years, back in the tech bay and everything, and that would be Mr. Mark Eldridge. Go ahead and add into the stream, Jeremy, bring him up. He has joined us this evening. And Mark has his own little thing going on over in, I say Tulsa, but it's really Bixby, if I think I get it correctly, over in Bixby.
Yeah,
Mobile Soundstage Engineering.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a company I started, in 1994, doing stuff for Auto Sound 2000 for Dave and Richard way back when. And it's just been an evolution. It's a company that has turned into what we do now is education and trying to help people learn how to make cars sound good. There's a lot of installers can make stuff look pretty. There's not a whole lot that can make it sound good. So that's where we try to help.
And Mark, I mean, I don't mean this to sound like I'm blowing smoke up the proverbial skirt, but I've had the blessed opportunity to spend time with you out in the field training. We talked about last time, spent some time with you in Japan, and you are a wealth of knowledge when it comes to getting a sound system, whether it's car or otherwise, to get it to image and stage and do the things that you want it to do. So obviously, being able to pass this information along to a new generation of people who haven't been exposed to it is huge, and you do that through classes with MSC, do you not?
Right. I do classes. I haven't done any for about a year and a half. I mean, the one I had scheduled in March of last year got canceled, obviously. But I've got 2 scheduled this year, one coming up later this month that's full, and I limit it to 14 people per class just because we don't have a single PowerPoint slide in the whole weekend, okay? It's all hands and ears on stuff. We talk about a topic, we talk about an idea, and then we'll set a demo up and let everybody experience that, whether it's equalization or localization or dynamics or anything else, anything related to sound quality, it's on the table. And so I've got the class in June that's full, got one in August coming up, 21st, 22nd. We still got a few seats left in there. But it's a great class. I've probably run through 500 or 600 people in all the classes I've done. And man, I'll tell you what, everybody learns something. I learned something every one of these classes I teach. It's a sharing of knowledge is what it's all about.
It absolutely is. And you're saying your show for June is sold out, but you've got another training show, seminar. I don't know the proper name to put to it. It's really, like you say, it's kind of a learning experience for everyone. And you're the grand host. But you've got another one coming up in August. Yeah,
well, it's a 2-day class. And this one's August 21st, 22nd. It's the weekend before Knowledge Fest. I figured that's a good time. So if you want to learn something, man, you got that 2-weekend spread there. You can put your learn on and get your sound quality down, and then go learn about business in Dallas, And I expect this one to probably fill up too. So, yep.
There's a great question here. Mothra B17's up on the screen. He's asking, are there any virtual classes by any chance? Is that something you've ever considered, or you do well or do offer?
I get asked that all the time. And, there's some topics we can do virtually. But if you think about it, when we're talking about sound and your ears hearing what's going on and learning to interpret what's going on, you have to be there. I mean, you have to be in person. If somebody says, hey, listen to this saxophone over in this corner of the soundstage, well, you can't write that down or put it on a screen like this because it's not a visual thing. It's something you have to experience with your own ears. And, I've considered doing parts of the class virtually, but it all has to go together. And, man, I have yet to have anybody that's been through this class say it wasn't worth 10 times what it cost to come to this class. It's I don't like to brag, but I will, just because it's a great class. And I've had, you've been through this stuff. I've had people in the industry, Larry Frederick of all people came to my class, and Gary Biggs has been through my class, and you name it. A lot of the guys have been around, and they're all like, "Wow, I learned something," And it's it's information it took me 30 years to put all this stuff together, and working at it very hard to do. It's a lot of stuff.
So here's a question I want to ask it of you first, Mark, since you brought it up, and then I want to swing up to Jimmy and Mike. And so here's an interesting question I got for you guys tonight. So obviously you just said 30 years, and it's a lot of knowledge that you've acquired over 30 years. And as we all know, if you're in any career path, as you move forward, you learn things. And sometimes you learn things that teach you what you knew was wrong. Tell me your number one thing that you believed or thought was true that when you finally found out you were wrong, what was it?
All right, I'll give you this one right off the top. It was 1992, I believe. 92, yeah, it was 92. And I was just getting into competition car audio and really learning about equalization and sound quality and all that stuff. I really didn't have it down very well. I went to the World Finals. And here's this red Acura Legend built by the guys at Speakerworks, and Eric Holdaway's in the car tuning it, and the trunk was wide open, okay? And in the back left side of the trunk were the two Rane ME30s and the Rane AC24, the crossover. And I was like, those are the settings that are going to make my car sound great. So I took a picture of his equalizers and tried to apply that in the 4Runner. And it sounded so incredibly bad, it was unbelievable, So
you learned that EQ settings weren't universal.
Bingo, but I mean, I've had many guys ask me, hey, what EQ settings do you use in your car? And I'm like, it doesn't matter, what's going to work in your car. And we all go through stuff like that. Audio is not, you can't understand it just by looking at it. There are certain things in the laws of physics that you look at it and go, man, it should work this way, but it doesn't. There's too many variables involved. And we try to get into as much of that as we can in the class. So anyway, go ahead, guys. Hey, by the way,
very true.
The pics of the cars you did, badass. So nice work on those cars.
Thank you so much. Cool. As you can see, we're still having a little bit of fun too. So
yeah, I can see that.
Fun. I'd say one of the first things that I learned from way back that just as a novice, I did this for, 4 or 5 years before we had the shop here, but putting your speaker higher doesn't make it necessarily image higher. And a lot of times literally placing them lower to sound higher, and that's just the way it works in a car. And that was a complete surprise to me.
Oh boy, the first one that pops in my head, the more speakers, the better. If it ain't where it's supposed to be, add a speaker. It don't work.
Less is better, yeah.
And I want to say this before we go any further about the MSC program. I have not officially been through the MSC program. Unofficially, I've probably been through it 2 or 3 times because when I would go and visit, I would always stop in Tulsa to say hello. And it was always grab the bill, ask me how the Trailblazer was doing, what I was going to next, and start talking, and Mark go, no, wait, let's talk about this. Pull the eraser board out, and we sit and have Cokes and drink for about 2 hours and talk. But Mark's one of the best and one of my heroes. Always.
I appreciate that. But it's a lot of fun, to just sharing knowledge and helping people make their cars sound better. That's the passion, and it's so much fun when somebody comes to class and they bring their car. And these classes, I think I've got 3 or 4 cars in each one coming that are in different stages of completion. And we actually use the attendees' cars as an example. Go ahead, Kip.
Just read it, guys. I don't know that I can say it. Just read it.
Smiley face.
Smiley face is exactly right.
Drop the mids to negative 20 dB, boost bass and treble by 20 dB, no transitions. Alan, that is the curve from the 80s and 90s. I will give you that. I don't know that there's a car I ever got into that didn't have the EQ set up like that. Every single one of them.
That's right.
So speaking of that, so let me ask another question and start back up at the top, and then we'll get to Mark last. If you could only choose one to stay and the other would go away forever, would you choose to keep equalization or would you choose to keep time alignment? You can only choose one and the other one goes away forever.
Oh, man. You can go first.
Well, I'm going to say time alignment. I'm going to keep time alignment if we're talking about it in a car, because in a car there's just so many things you can't get around without time alignment. So I'm going to say time alignment, but I'm assuming we're using perfect equipment, perfect speakers, and so it doesn't need any equalization.
Ooh, I'm going to have to keep equalization.
Okay. Do you have a reason why?
While everything does need, every vehicle is going to need some sort of time alignment to do from a single seat position. My daily ride around is 2 seats. So there's virtually no time alignment to that, all equalization. Plus, if you can EQ a car right and you can get speaker placement correctly, very little time alignment's needed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think you just tapped into Mark.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
Tricky question.
Exactly. Well, and if you think about it, 99% of people out there, probably 99.9%, could care less about image placement and staging and all that. As long as it sounds, as long as KIP sounds like KIP, and that's what's important. And equalization is by far the most important aspect. And that can be using, it's not just the EQ, you have crossovers, you have other factors that EQ equalization. And for years, until the early 2000s, we didn't even have signal delay.
Right. Now, hey, you know what? And here's, there can be a trick question to this, Kip. I know we'll get to you in a minute. Listen, there is a trick to this too. Are we counting out phasing also? Are we
counting out phasing?
Are we leaving phase adjustability?
Well, you're talking about an all-pass filter. That's a digital version of equalization and signal delay. I mean, it's some of both.
There you go.
It's some of both. So that's
So what this question opened up, and Mothra jumped all over, which is pretty cool. We see the people watching the show bring this up. Says technically, you could do some time alignment with equalization. And I don't know, Mark, and I'd love to get your input on this. I've always considered it to be somewhere around 2,000 to 3,000 or 2 to 3K. But really, when you get up into frequencies and start getting so short, you really can't time align a tweeter. But if you're in a car and you're trying to get the sound to give you that center image perception, you can do what's called frequency steering, which is basically what you're doing is you're EQing or gain controlling the amount of frequency coming from left versus right.
Yeah.
And so I've always heard, at least this I've been educated, and what I've shared with people over the years is, 2-3K seems to be about the top limit as far as how good time alignment will help you. But once you get beyond that, it really has to do with equalization or frequency steering or alignment. It's not really time alignment, but it's getting your ear to perceive the intensity of a sound is here versus here because you're balancing the left and right at certain frequencies. Your input on that?
Yeah, and I'll just give you, this is a little segment out of the class. When you start talking about the frequency ranges in which we're sensitive to different things. And you're right, at about 2K, above 2K, it's all intensity. It's how loud it is on the left relative to the right, okay?
Right.
From about 400 and down, it's all about when the sound arrives. You can have from below 400 hertz, if one sound arrives a half a millisecond before the right, it's going to all sound like it's come from the left. And between 400 and 2K, it's a transition. And that all has to do with the size of our head. We have about 6 inches or so between our ears, okay? 6 inches is the path length for a single cycle at 2,000 hertz. So once you get above that, you have blocking from this side for this ear and blocking from this side for this ear. Once you get down below about 400 hertz, the wavelength is so long, there's no blocking effect on your head. We get real deep into this in the class, but just to let you know, equalization works really well above 2K, and it helps everything below that. Signal delay is exceptionally helpful below 400. It's very important up to 2K, and above 2K, sometimes it makes a difference, sometimes it doesn't. But polarity between the left and right tweeters can make a huge difference because the polarity is relative to the mid on its side, not necessarily between left and right. But you're right. And taking the tweeter and just angling the tweeter a little bit so you change the dispersion pattern, that's way more effective than any time alignment you're going to do on a tweeter. So,
and when you do that, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Mark, but when you start moving that tweeter and changing it, you're really dealing with, in a car, you're dealing with two aspects. You're dealing with, one, the on-axis versus off-axis response of the driver, right. And number two, as you move that in the environment, you're changing the reflectivity, where that tweeter's bouncing off of or what's bouncing off of to get back to you, which would be early reflections.
Let's not even talk about reflections. We ain't got time here. But yes, you are correct. Reflections in the car are a massive, reflections are a massive problem. And real quick, just so people know, there's about 10, I just got a cue from Timmy, there's about 10 minutes left to enter tonight's contest. So if you haven't entered tonight's contest, Bill can roll that across the bottom of the screen real quick in case he hasn't, or post in the feed, but you got about 10 minutes to enter tonight's contest. So be sure you go hit that link. Love to have you in the drawing for tonight. So shout out for that. Yes. Hey, contests. Can we work something where maybe somebody watching tonight or one of these shows gets a discount or something to come to one of my classes? I think we can pull that off.
Let me ask you a question. If someone was to win, not win, but if someone was to buy a seat to come to one of your trainings, what does that cost?
It's $475 for the seat, and then hotels, whatever, if you split a hotel with somebody else, and then transportation to Bixby. And I do them all at Bixby just because for me to take this show on the road is just cost prohibitive. I'd have to charge $1,500 a person if I take it to Atlanta or something. It's just cheaper for everybody to come to me, but it's about $475 a seat.
I've seen you take a small version of this show to Japan, and I think after 10 suitcases, the bellman was done.
Yeah. Well, and if you remember trying to get the stuff back, Customs was pissed. They didn't want to let me bring my stuff home,
Is this your gear? Are you doing this for a business? Have you pay taxes on this? What is all this gear?
Yeah.
I remember being at Customs. Yes, sir, I do.
Yeah. So I just keep it in Bixby now. But
So they'd have, basically, they come to your class, they got to get there.
Right.
They got to put themselves up in a hotel room. Yeah. It's $475 for the class. Do they have to buy their own meals while they're there? Are they on the hook for their food?
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll go out to lunch as a group. We do dinner as a group. We just hang as a group, and everybody kind of pays their own way. But I have snacks and drinks and stuff. So if they want to fill up on that, they can. So.
Well, I'm just thinking this through real quick. So you'd be willing to work some kind of a contest to let somebody win a seat?
Dude, that would be cool. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I mean, I worked at Kicker for 5 years. And, people that use Kicker gear, it's all part of the family thing. It's always been there. And, let's see what we can do.
All right, so let me think about this for a second. So I'll tell you what. You don't need to tell me what it would be. I don't want the number, Mark. But if Kicker was to buy that seat, pay for that seat, would you cut me a little bit of a break?
Maybe.
Just a little?
Maybe.
I mean, like maybe I could come over and give you a couple bullfrogs and you give me a little bit of a discount on a seat, something like that.
We'll figure something out. Yeah, let's see what we can do.
All right, so here's what I'm thinking. I got an idea here. Let's wait till the end of the show. We got a private chat here. Let's talk about a few things. Okay. And then let's see what we can come up with, and we'll announce it at the end of the show. What do you think of that?
Okay.
You up for that?
Absolutely.
All right. Look for the private chat. I'll have some stuff sent back and forth. But this is a pretty good idea. Maybe we got something going on here. How much time we got left on tonight's contest? 3 minutes. You got 3 minutes there in tonight's contest. And that also tells me we're coming up into 8:30, which means we still got some time to talk about a few topics and draw the winner and circle back and talk about this thing that Mark's proposed, because it's very interesting. If people are in the feed, would anyone in the feed be interested in entering a contest to win a seat to a mobile sound engineering training? If you do, I'd like to see you chime into the comment that you'd be interested in that. I'd just like to see what kind of interest there is in that. So throw that in. I'll drive. I'm in Louisiana. I'll stop by Kicker HQ after or before. Mothra, that sounds like a good idea.
You're an hour away.
Hey. You're an hour away. Anybody else? We'd love to have your feedback. If you'd be interested in an MSC giveaway, let us know. Chime it in here, because Mark's being real generous to offer that and want to do it with us. And if he'll work with me on the price, maybe we can do something on that. I don't usually sign up for a contest, but I would sign up for that. DIY audio guy. Hey, us Okies could commute? Yeah, why not? If you're an Okie and you commute, I mean, us Okies drive 2 hours someplace, and we consider that just a jaunt down the road.
And I had a guy tow his vehicle from New York to my class last year, or about a year and a half ago.
Hey, Mark, if we do this, let's even step back from that, because I'm getting a little excited about that. Let me think about that. So people who come to your show, you do have an actual NASCAR built for a sound quality vehicle, do you not?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's on display at MSC.
Yeah, it's a cup car that Ray Evernham owned and Casey Atwood drove. It was from '01, was the vintage car, and I bought it from Sirius Satellite Radio when they were done. When they took that vintage car off the track and started building new ones, I bought one of the old ones, and yeah, it's got 2 seats, it's got doors, it's got a full-blown sound quality audio system inside, 12-inch subwoofers in the kick panels, about 4,500 watts of power just for sound, and 500 horsepower motor that'll move it pretty quick too. So it's a lot of fun.
Pretty serious.
That
looks pretty serious.
And I got to tell off on him a little bit before anybody says that this car is not street legal or doesn't drive. Mark, tell them what you do with this thing on the weekends.
Yeah, well, I don't drive it on the street very much, but I have been known to take it to the track and track it at 140, 150 miles an hour.
It will go around the track.
Yeah, but I mean, I have driven it on the street, but the problem you get is you got some knucklehead next to you. Come on, man, warm up the tires so we can go. And I'm like, you just drive away from me, and I'll go home. You know. So.
These are some fantastic pictures that Ernie got from you. Got to kind of going through it. I mean, it looks fantastic. And so you'll get to see this and experience this at MSC.
Yeah. Yep. It's pretty cool. It's a sound system like no other ever created in any car. And you can ask those other guys; they've heard about it and seen part of it. So yeah.
You know, there was a comment in the feed, I would, so there's another person that would enter that contest. You know, real quick, I would enter that. Jerome, thank you, sir. Yes, Tyler McVeigh, you'd enter that contest. One of the comments was in the feed, somebody brought up and wanted to talk about downfiring enclosures, and I think it was back order or something like that. Just to kind of touch on that subject for everyone who's in the feed, we here at Kicker are doing our level-headed best to keep our dealers stocked with product the best way we can. This last 12 to 16 months has completely destroyed the manufacturing and logistics chain globally. And I'm not talking about just car audio. I'm in the process myself right now. I'm in the middle of building a home, and I was informed by the people that I'm buying my brick from that I might see brick by the end of the year. I'm ready for brick right now. I've already paid for my brick because I said you have to pay for it and get in line. But the brick, I might get it by the end of the year. And I told the lady on the phone, I was like, so is there a different blend of brick, or do you have a brick that's close to the one we picked out for the shop so it can just kind of looks like it matches? And she laughed at me and she said, no, you don't understand, sir. We don't have any brick. So if anyone out there has been following anything outside of just, I mean, I know you're probably watching the show and you're focused on car audio, and as a manufacturer, we're focused on the things we make on a daily basis, but everything from lumber to brick to building materials to electrical, plumbing supplies, PVC, the entire world right now is in a backorder situation, and it's because the global supply chain and the logistics of getting it back and forth, it's just completely messed up right now. I say that not as an excuse, it's the reality that we as a manufacturer are dealing with on a daily basis. And what we do when we get products in, the first thing is if you're checking kicker.com, understand this. When we get product in, we fulfill the dealers first. So if we get in 1,000 of a widget or 10,000 of a widget or 50,000, all of our dealers who have orders in, they get filled first, and it does not go on the kicker.com website. We fulfill dealer needs first. So if you're looking for a product on our website and it shows it's out of stock, I can guarantee you that product has come in and gone back out the door, and it's sitting in a dealer somewhere, or it's already been bought and it's in a customer's car. I'm always going to recommend, if you're looking for a Kicker product, hit Kicker, go to the dealer locator, find the dealer in your area, look for the online if that's how you want to, and go look for the product there, because we're not going to keep product back and put it in stock on our website as long as our dealers have a need for that product. So just keep that in mind and understand we are doing our level-headed best to keep product in the chain. We're doing the best we can. So I just wanted to address that question real quick because I felt that was a relevant question.
I'll definitely say the Kicker team is absolutely doing amazing in it too, because I mean we face shortages and across car audio, and you guys are number one in our book for sure. Y'all do an amazing job.
Yeah, and it's not, I mean, there's another comment feed. China does a lot of manufacturing for a lot of different products that we, not just in the U.S., but around the world use. But it's not just a China-based problem, guys, and I hope you can understand that. It's a global problem. We source products from all around the world. And to put it in perspective, it doesn't get a lot of spotlight probably in your daily news feeds, but in the past 6 months, there have been 4 that I know of, 4 major shipping container ships that have been coming across the ocean that have run into heavy seas, and between those 4 ships, they've dumped, they think, about 8,000 containers to the bottom of the ocean. And those containers could have been anything from clothes to hats to shoes to car audio to plumbing supplies to electrical to you name it, from all across the world. And it's been a weird year. I was just talking to a guy down at Lowe's, and there's apparently a chemical that's used in the manufacturing of a lot of PVC fittings and conduits and things like that, and the company that makes it burned to the ground. And so now all these people who make those things are scrambling just to find this chemical that they need. And if you've gone to your local Lowe's, I can testify for ours here, it's a ghost town. There's nothing there. So it's not just a Kicker car audio issue. It's a global issue. And it's nice to have Jimmy says what he does. I mean, obviously, Jimmy is a dealer of ours, which is great, but we're doing our level-headed best to get product in as fast as we can and get it to our dealers. So anything you're looking for, hit up a Kicker dealer first, because as Jimmy can attest to, we fill them first before we put anything on our website.
Dude, we certainly appreciate it too. You're doing an excellent job at it.
Yes, thank you.
So back on kind of a topic here, this has been an interesting topic that Ernie, because Ernie's an SQ guy through and through, and he and I get into a lot of interesting conversations. But, you know, time alignment or phase, I mean, really, they're both talking about doing the same thing. You're just trying to change the location of something in reference to another in time. But probably the biggest misnomer that people have about that is they think they can time align their subwoofer to match their mids and tweets. They think that they can delay their woofer and or they can delay their mids and highs and get it to time align with their subwoofer.
That's true. That's true.
But the opposite of that is you can't push your subwoofer further back, because all you can do is get your subwoofer further away from you. So what a lot of people misconstrue or they misdo is they start adding time alignment or delay to their subwoofer, and the problem with that is it's already typically the furthest speaker away from you. So what you really have to do is think about the subwoofer being your reference point. That's got to be your starting distance, and then you got to push everything else in the car out away from to meet the subwoofer, not the other way around. And Ernie and I have had some interesting discussions here where, you know, even we for a while were thinking, okay, let's think this through. No, you can't fix anything by delaying the subwoofer. You got to delay everything else.
Okay, here's a trick for you. If you've got signal delay on every channel for every speaker you've got, okay, put 1 millisecond delay on every single speaker. All right? You do that and nothing changes, correct? Now, okay, now that subwoofer that's too close to you or too far away, you can actually bring it closer by reducing the amount of delay on that subwoofer.
Right.
Okay?
Good point.
That's why when I'm teaching delay in the class, I tell everybody right up front, put 1 millisecond delay on every speaker you can, and use that as your 0. So if you start adjusting things and you get to a point where, hey, I need to bring that speaker closer to me, you have some room to do that. Because if you're already at 0, you can't do anything. You're stuck.
That's a very good point, Mark, and I've never thought about it that way. I've kind of thought of it the opposite way. Jimmy, do you guys have any other tidbits on that as far as how you line up your system to your sub?
That's basically exactly what he's saying.
Right.
You're definitely going to have to delay the highs to match the sub. I mean, there's a couple of cases where you've got a sub under your seat or something that's maybe not. But actually, that sounds really good, as Mark can tell you, too, right in the kick panel under the seat. So.
Yeah, it's all relative, and it's all comes down. You can measure it, you can do all that, but you got to listen to it. You got to adjust delay by ear when you get to it. So.
And Mark, you talk a millisecond. Let's put that into some terms that might make more sense. When you do a millisecond of delay, what does that translate to in actual distance?
About almost a foot, and it depends on the temperature and density, altitude of the air. Just think 1 millisecond is 12 inches. Okay, so a tenth of a millisecond is a tenth of a foot, so it's 1.2 inches. Okay, and if you think at 1,000 hertz, that's 1 foot. At 500 hertz, you double the wavelength, so it's a 2-foot wavelength. If you go down to 250 hertz, now it's a 4-foot wavelength. Okay, if you're thinking the full wavelength, if you're thinking about shifting phase, you have to think about the actual length of the wave. When you get up to 20,000 hertz, the wavelength is like 5/8 of an inch long. So, it's and you get down to like 20 hertz, and it's like 60 some odd 80 feet. It's like 80 feet long.
Which is what I was about to bring up too, with the whole phase and timing alignment with the sub. If your sub's crossed at 40 hertz at 24 dB per octave Lincolns-Riley, you're not doing much time alignment anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can make a difference because where it rolls up into those higher frequencies at 24 dB per octave, not so much. But there are, when you have the interaction between the sub and the mid bass, it can make a big difference there. What you got, Kip?
I'm trying to get Jeremy to throw a comment up here because it'd be interesting to get your take on this, Mark, and also Jimmy and Mike. He says, you play your front mids at 55 hertz, play your sub at 55 hertz. Invert polarity on the sub, play your mids and sub at 85 dB. Delay the sub till you see your dB drop to its lowest point. Set your polarity back on the sub, boom. So Scott, what's he doing there, Mark? In essence, what's that doing?
You saying play each of them individually at 55 hertz?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Hey, Scott, if you got some more to add to this, throw it in. So you play your front mids at 55, play your sub at 55.
He's inverting the sub, so basically when you see the drop, they're in phase, but one's out of phase. So he's looking for it. He's perfectly aligning them at 55 hertz, but you're tuning for one frequency.
Assuming that's a critical frequency. It might be a 45, more likely closer to 80. And that's where, again, equalization is like the last thing I do. That and delay. I work with crossover slopes, inversion of the polarity of the speaker, and all of that first, because that all plays into equalization too. And again, can't cover it all here. Come to the class. We'll teach you how to do it.
Okay, is there another good comment? I was just looking, I'm actually checking the time with Timmy here behind the camera. He keeps me on track here. Brings your sub stage forward. So that's what Scott says it's doing. He says it brings your sub stage forward with what he's doing there. It's a way I've never, that's a new one on me. Mm-hmm. That's why I wanted to bring it up in the comment feed. I thought it was kind of interesting.
Well, and let me throw this out there because there are a lot of guys that have done something that works, okay? But just because it works that one time doesn't mean it's going to work all the time. What you have to do is get into the laws of physics and human physiology and understand why we hear things the way we do, understand the acoustical environment you're working in, and when you put all that in the equation, then you can say, this is why that worked this time. And that's what we try to do is get away from the single point source solution to a more broad, think about all of these things. Now, what's going to make the most difference? And do it from a wider perspective, if you will.
Right. So, Tony, I see that Jeremy pulled this up. Another great question. I'm glad you guys are interacting tonight. Can you guys run through a quick example on how to set time alignment? I think it'll be helpful for the audience. I think probably the biggest thing to cover there, Tony, would be if you're doing time alignment, you're either doing it in an advanced head unit today that has it built in, or you're doing it with an external DSP, or you're using an amplifier that has DSP built in. But at the end of the day, and Mark, feel free to chime in on this, but at the end of the day, you got to cover the basics first on time alignment. And first is, and I recommend, because they're not that expensive, order one, go down to Lowe's or order one off of eBay or go to Amazon, but get a laser level or a laser measurement device, because they're accurate within like a 1/16 of an inch inch anymore. I mean, they're so accurate it doesn't matter. But what you want to measure is from your seated position in the car for you, is from your head space, whether you go left ear, right ear, nose, center of your back, your head, whatever, and you want to measure to the location of all your speakers and write that information down. And basically, for me, what you find out 9 times out of 10, or almost 10 out of 10, like Mark said, unless the subwoofer's underneath your front seat or up in your glove box or something odd like that, your sub's going to be the furthest away. And what you either need to do from that point is look at all your measurements and calculate what's the difference in length from my furthest point to my closest point, and that difference, I need to add that length in time to the speakers so that I push them out to be the same distance away from me as the subwoofer. Now, the thing you get into is some DSP software I've seen, you just enter in the measurements and it does the calculation on its own, and some software doesn't do that calculation. You actually need to put in just how much delay do I want, and if you're putting how much delay you want, you need to figure what that is. So to exaggerate the numbers, if it was 10 feet to my subwoofer and 5 feet to all my other speakers, I need to delay all my other speakers out by 5 feet so that they're the same distance away from me as my subwoofer. And I think that's my best simplistic way to tell you to start with time alignment. And understand, as Mark and Jimmy and Mike said, and I kind of led them down this path, that's only going to be in those critical frequencies. Once you get above 2,000 hertz, now it's going to come down to you sitting in the seat and you playing with an EQ and frequency steering things, because time alignment's not going to do you much good above 2,000 hertz. And I'll leave it at there and let it go to Mark.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a good way to start, is to measure and kind of know the ballpark where you're at. There are systems out there that can measure the actual arrival time of the speaker, and then you can adjust it perfectly. But I promise you, when you get done with that, you're going to listen to it and you're going to make more adjustments and make it sound even better. You know, my technique is to use some of all of that. But when it comes down to, you got to listen to it. You got to listen to it. And adjusting delay on the tweeter relative to the mid, and then adjusting the mid bass relative to the mid, and then the subwoofer relative to the mid bass. So, yeah.
Hey, bring up that comment. There's another comment. Hey, Mike, Jimmy, do you guys have anything to add to that about as far as time alignment? Because I know you guys do it every day, obviously, in your shop, tuning systems.
Yeah, I mean, that's the basic way. I mean, we like pulling a tape measure from our nose. That's always kind of fun, too. But it gets a little tricky behind you sometimes. But it works, you know. It saves the cats, as I saw coming up there. The cats jumping on it. Yeah, we do that. And then, you know, just a lot of power level matching at all the different frequencies, which is kind of EQing, too. But you can't get too heavy into time alignment by itself when crossover points aren't right, when levels haven't been adjusted. It's all a balance of all of it coming together. When it comes all of it, that's when the magic happens.
Crossovers were instrumental. I mean, you got to get the peaks out, and you're not always going to be crossing a tweeter at 2.3K at 18 dB per octave, and a mid at top end at 2.3K at 18 dB per octave. You could have to back it down because of the vehicle. There's so many things, but yeah. The delay is, if not the last, one of the last things you're going to mess with half the time.
Yeah, and then you'll find yourself going back. Once you do all of the things and you get them done, everything affect everything, you start over and do it all again.
Yeah,
and
right.
You keep doing it.
And you keep doing it until it's right.
You change the delay, you have to go back and change the EQ, sometimes the crossover. You know, it's a never-ending circle, okay? And then here's one for you. You take my car, where I've got arrays up front. I've got 2 mids on the left, 2 on the right, 2 tweeters on the left, and 2 on the right. And now you have to adjust all of those relative to each other. Head explosion, man. I've spent way too many hours trying to tune that thing.
You know what's funny with what you started there, Mike and Jimmy, and then what you chimed in on there, Mark, as well, is once you start going down this path and you change one thing, it can and will affect other things. It's like reading the side of a shampoo bottle. Wash, rinse, repeat. You just kind of do it, and then you do it again, then you do it again. You kind of keep doing that. So
and then you shave your head so you don't have to wash anymore.
Exactly. I'm close. I'm so close. I'm almost there. A couple great questions here, and Jeremy brought one from Tony. Says, another question for the guests. What RTA solutions do you recommend for the DSP-equipped enthusiast or hobbyist? And Mark, do you cover this in your class, and is there an RTA solution that you recommend?
You know, there's a lot of RTAs out there. I mean, quite honestly, okay, if you've got an iPhone or any phone, you can get an app on your phone and get a plug-in mic and have an RTA that's totally functional for what we need in a car, especially for everyday stuff. Now, yeah, there you go. And if you've got more money than that, if you've got a laptop computer and you can afford a $500 or $1,000 mic because you want to get really critical, do that. And you can use True RTA or any other number of things out there. There's a lot of different things out there. You just have to get comfortable with what you're using. You have to understand the tools you have and understand their limitations at the same time.
I don't mean this to be a shameless plug for audio control, but we just happen to have one sitting here in the studio. But this is one of their SA4100s, and you brought up this is actually a lightning port equipped one. They make them that'll go for Android devices as well and for PCs, USB. But this is $100-ish, I think, or 125, 140 bucks, somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's not that expensive, and this is a calibrated microphone that when you use it with their software, you get a very good hobbyist enthusiast way to go that doesn't cost you a lot of money. And as Mark said, any RTA is better than no RTA, although I will say this, iPhones tend to be a little bit better using the built-in microphone with an RTA because they use the same part in all their devices, so it's more of a true close to calibrated device, where if you use an Android, I don't know that I'd recommend trusting the built-in apps because the microphones are all across the board.
Don't use the built-in mic. Spend $150 and get a decent mic. I mean, come on.
I don't disagree.
How much money are you spending on your audio system? Please.
Yeah, I don't.
But I use that I run sound in my church. When I got to check sound on the sound system at church, that's what I use.
Yeah, and this is, if you're, like Mark said, if you're a hobbyist or enthusiast, one of these is not that expensive. The cool part is you already own a laptop or a PC, or you own a phone that'll plug right in, or an iPad, so it's doing all the heavy lifting. Just get you a calibrated mic like this so you know you're getting accurate measurements. And we actually did a show, an Unmasked Live, where John Myers joined us, and we did some comparison on different RTAs, and could see, they're all pretty close. It's just if you're going to hang your hat on something, make sure you're using something that's calibrated. So, good question there.
And don't change
Anything
RTAs
else?
all the time. Don't change the mics you're using. Use the same one so you have a reference. So you know,
exactly.
If it's calibrated, it should be perfect across the board, but it might not be. Try consistency. Yeah.
Mothra, the phone's $23 a month on your plan with Verizon or AT&T or Sprint or T-Mobile. Phone, it's not at that, and you're going to trade it in before it's paid for anyway. It don't matter. You're getting a new computer every 2 years. But yeah, that's a great way to do that. So real quick, while I've got you, I'd like for all of you, the guests, all of you to stay here with me while we do our drawing tonight, because I want to circle back to that proposal that Mark had, because I think we got a plan here together. There's been some backroom chatter going on. I think we may have something to do here. But with that said, as everyone knows, we actually do a drawing every Tuesday night for everyone who tunes in, join the show. We appreciate you being here. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We do contests and impromptu drawings all the time. If you're not subscribed, you're not going to get those notifications. And the like thing, as you guys know, we don't monetize these videos. It's not about that. It's just really a feedback mechanism to let us know you're enjoying the content, and we really do appreciate you giving us one of those to let us know. And if you don't like it, throw it in the comments and let us know, or reach out to social@kicker.com to let us know what topics, guests, or things you'd like to talk about, because we sincerely want to cover those things. So with that said, Bill, I know that you've got 3 winners pulled back there because you are on your game. So with that being said, the Kicker.Fun was SQ Masters, appropriate title for the 3 gentlemen joining us tonight, SQ Masters. Join us tonight. 3rd place and 2nd place are getting the EB300s. They're getting the 2 koozies, and you're getting the gray limited edition Kicker shirt. 1st place, again tonight, you're going to get the 2 koozies, the black limited edition shirt, and then you're going to get your choice of either the QSC 6.75s, the QSC 6.5s, or you can also choose from the coaxials if you need a 6x9, because we only offer the 6x9 in the Q line in the coax. You can also choose from that. And something's got Mike just laughing, and I have to know what it is.
Drew being funny, Baseholic Productions. If they don't like this show,
that's fine. It's 2021. You're welcome to your wrong opinion.
Love you, Drew.
Nice.
You know what, Drew? I knew I liked you for a reason, man, because I have a little saying, and the people here who know me, they laugh when I bring it up. We'll get into a topic about something, and I'll just look at them and go, you know what? You can agree with me, or you can be wrong. It's completely your choice.
I think I'm going to steal that.
They make fun of me for it all the time. What's worse is when it comes around and it actually bites you back in the butt, because those moments aren't that much fun, but you know how that goes. So real quick for our winners, I know Bill's got them covered here at the beginning, covered at the end. If you're a winner, we need you to reach out to social@kicker.com. Bill will reach out to you tomorrow as well through email, but you're more than welcome to come this way. Whether he reaches out to you or you reach back, some things we need from you. First thing is we need a shipping address, no P.O. boxes. We cannot ship to a P.O. box. Second thing, we need you to give us your cell phone or home phone, whichever you're comfortable with, a contact phone number. It doesn't matter who we use anymore, whether it's USPS, UPS, FedEx, DHL, the list goes on. They have to have a phone number in case they can't find your location or they need to arrange for you to pick up at their location the package they can't get to you. So we have to have a phone number. We do sincerely promise and do mean we will not use that number for any marketing promotions. We don't give it away to anyone else. It's strictly for the shipping information. And last but not least, my favorite kipism is we want to make sure you get the right size shirt. So when you're selecting from that drop-down box, if you accidentally hit medium, we want to make sure you get the size that actually fits you. So we want you to reconfirm your shirt size. So if you need a double big boy, we'll get you a double big boy. And if you do like a medium, man, just hit it right there. We'll make sure you get a medium. It looks great on all of us. So we just want you to confirm that shirt size. So with that said, Bill, who's winner number 3 for tonight? Would you please put them up on the screen so I can find out who it is? And that'd be Anthony P. from West Valley City, Utah. Anthony P., you're our 3rd place winner tonight. Thank you for tuning into the show. Hopefully you enjoyed the content, you enjoyed the special guests, and you just enjoyed winning the 3rd place prize tonight. You'll have some EB300s, a Kicker t-shirt, and a couple koozies to keep your favorite beverage chilled as you watch the show. Thanks for tuning in. Let's move on to winner number 2, Bill. Who do we have in the pipeline? Chris C. from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Chris C., congratulations. You are our 2nd place winner tonight. You're getting that same prize package as number 3. It's going to be a set of those earbuds, Kicker Unmasked Live t-shirt in gray, and a pair of koozies for you as well. And that brings us to the grand prize winner for the evening. Bill, who's going to get to choose a set of Q-Class speakers for their car? Tonight's final winner is Yannick P. Hey, Quebec, Canada. Hey, this is our 2nd Canadian winner on the show. And couldn't be any better than to be the grand prize winner on tonight. So Yannick P., Quebec, Canada, congratulations. You are our grand prize winner tonight. Thank you for tuning in and watching the show. We certainly appreciate it. Hey, bring up that comment from Jay Bordeaux so I can read it. I need to see what that says. Jay Bordeaux, Kip, set of speakers as just a pair or a set for a specific car? Like if the car has 4 6.5s or 6.75s? No, it's not for 4, it's just for a pair. So you're going to win a pair. And so since we already know who the winner is, we know the gentleman in Canada is going to pick out a pair of Q-Class components, either 6.5 or 6.75. And if he needs a 6x9, he can obviously get that in the Q-Class coax line. So there's our winners for tonight. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. Hey there, great close-up shot there. Ernie, thank you for that. So you know what, Mark? We had a little bit of fun. You know, you kind of presented a challenge there, and we've thought about it and put pen to paper and talked about it. So it appears to me that there are a large group of people here who would be interested in entering a contest and actually winning a seat, as I want to call it, a seat at your training. And you're in for it, obviously, as well.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
Here's what we've come up with. And I like to think about anything is you got to have a little bit of skin in the game. If you don't have some skin in the game, you're probably not going to be too serious about it. So Justice Perry, but wait, there's more. Someone may still get some seat time in Mark's class. Hey, Justice, you are a very observant person. You're correct, Justice. We've got something cooked up here. And this is what we've got going on. When we talked to Mark about this, we actually talked to him a few weeks back about this, and we thought, wouldn't it be cool to give away a seat to the MSE class? And he agreed, and he's going to work with us. We are paying for the class. He's going to give us the 10% insider's discount. And we're going to actually, I know, it's a little bit better. I just don't want to talk prices because it doesn't matter. But the bottom line is Mark is working with us, and we're doing a co-branded co-giveaway here where we are giving away a seat to one of Mark's training classes. And not just any class, it is the one coming up in August, which is 21st and 22nd. Is that correct, Mark?
Right.
Okay, so what we've worked up here is obviously the 21st and the 22nd, that's Saturday and Sunday. You'd probably want to be in Bixby Friday night to attend the class first thing bright and early Saturday morning. So you'd have to plan on being in Bixby Friday. You would be Saturday and Sunday in Mark's class. Mr. Irby and myself and probably a few other members of the UnMASKED team are actually going to come over and meet the winner Saturday morning at Mark's class and join you guys for lunch. Mark already agreed that would be okay. So we will come do that with the winner on Saturday morning. And then you'll be there with Mark for the rest of all day Saturday and all day Sunday and join your thing. You'll be in Bixby Sunday night. Then you'll need to get yourself from Bixby, Oklahoma to Stillwater, Oklahoma, and that's about an hour-ish drive, a little over an hour. It's not that far. Hour and 15 maybe, Mark, hour and 20?
Yeah, it's about an hour 15, hour 20.
Yeah, it's not too far. Again, for us Oklahomas, that's just a trip to the grocery store here. Yeah. So you would come over to Stillwater, and we would have you here in Stillwater Monday. We would do a tour of the facility here. We'll go out and have dinner Monday night as a team. We'll come in Tuesday, and we will basically give you a tour of the UnMASKED studios and have you on as a guest on the UnMASKED live show. So that would be that'd be the 24th, the show on August 24th. You would actually be here as a live guest for the KICKER UnMASKED live weekly show. And then Wednesday morning, you find your way out of here. So basically what I'm thinking we'll do for the contest, if you're okay with this, Mark, and I haven't given you all these details, all of them yet. We've worked them out. Okay. So we're working with Mark. We're working with Mark in conjunction. We're going to cover the winner's seat at the event. You'll have no cost in going to the training as far as cost for the training itself. Okay. KICKER is going to pick up your hotel room for Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night, and Tuesday night. So you won't have any hotel expenses for the entire stay that you're here. So you just get yourself to Bixby, Oklahoma on Friday. You'll have a hotel room to check into. Then you'll get yourself from Bixby, Oklahoma to Stillwater Monday morning. You'll have a hotel to check into. You'll be here Monday night, hit the show on Tuesday and Tuesday night, and then you find your way back home on Wednesday morning. Now, depending on the winner, that may mean you have to arrange to fly in, you may have to arrange to drive in, and we're opening this contest because this is one we can. There's no limit on where you're from. So Canada, Mexico, this is a global contest. If you're the winner, you just have to get yourself here. And then once you get yourself to Bixby, Oklahoma, get to the hotel, basically you'll be taken care of there. You'll need to cover your meals while you're here for those 5 days. I'm sure while you're here hanging out with us in Stillwater, we're probably going to take you out to lunch or dinner, so that's probably not that big a deal. But we're also going to throw in on top of that $250 cash. So once you get to, we'll probably bring it with us Saturday morning, we will give you $250 cash, and that's basically going to be a stipend for you so that you can cover your meals or things you want to do while you're here for those 5 days. So this is a prize package that we estimate being well worth over $1,500. And when I say you got to have some skin in the game, you've got to get yourself to Bixby, Oklahoma. You've got to get yourself from Bixby, Oklahoma, or from Stillwater back to wherever you're from back home. Now, if you need help getting from Bixby to Stillwater, depending on how you have to get to Oklahoma, if you're flying in, maybe we can arrange some way to get you from here to there. There's always some things we can discuss, but getting here and getting home is on you. The seminar itself is paid for. Your hotel rooms are paid for. Your meals are basically paid for because of the $250 in cash. So all you got to do is get here and get home, and this is a free seminar, a free tour of KICKER, a free being a guest star, guest appearance here on the KICKER UnMASKED live show, and we think this is going to be a great contest. Now, if you enter the contest, please be sincere in that you want to come and do this, and know that getting here and getting home is on you. We do not want to give this prize away to someone who doesn't have any intent to use it, because another person could take advantage of it. So only enter the contest if you're serious and know that you're going to have to get to Bixby, Oklahoma Friday on the 20th, and you're going to have to be able to get home Wednesday morning, which would be the 25th, if I got that right. Yeah, the 25th.
And so, Bixby is basically Tulsa. So look for Tulsa International if you're flying in.
Exactly. Thanks for that, Mark. I was going to bring that up. So yeah, basically you'd want to fly into Tulsa International Airport if you're a fly-in. And if you live close enough and you're the winner, you can obviously drive in. And if you drive in, you've got your own transportation to get to Stillwater and then out. But we think this is a pretty cool prize package. We wanted to do this in conjunction with Mark. Mark is a wealth of knowledge, and I think whoever wins this will have a fantastic time learning and sharing with Mark over at Mobile Soundstage Engineering. So Mark, I think that covers everything we've got in this. What do you think?
Yeah.
Does that sound like a good plan?
I'm going to enter like 40 times. I'm going to enter myself like 40 times.
I'm trying to copy down the link myself. I'm in.
My wife's over in the corner already doing it. So yeah,
it's better as we go.
Kip, Thank you, man. This is cool. This is going to be cool. You know, I've never given away a seat to a class before, but working with you guys at Kicker, this is just cool. Yeah, I want to show you something else too, real quick.
Sure.
Jeremy and Ernie recognized it. You recognize that?
I absolutely recognize that.
One of the mid grills out of the Forerunner from years ago when I was working at Kicker Competition Group. Yeah.
This
will be coming to the museum when we start bringing over Forerunner pieces, Kicker Forerunner pieces.
Talk about what? The metal that went flying. Ernie wants you to talk about the metal that went flying from the router, Mark.
Which time?
That is the right answer right there.
Okay.
We'll leave the rest of it for another show, or we'll talk about it.
I think what he's talking about is a grinder incident, but we'll talk about that another time. Yeah.
You know, I do have a question to ask you, Mark, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, and you can say no, but, the winner of this contest, when we come over Saturday morning to meet them and be with you, would you mind at all if we did a short live feed through to the unmasked audience?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear.
Absolutely.
So, folks, this is official. We are launching this contest with Mark. We're going to run this through, is it the 6th of July? The 5th of July. This contest is going to run through Monday, July 5th at midnight, and we're going to pull and announce the winner. So we'll have you back on the show, Mark, on Tuesday, July 6th. Not for the whole show, but we'll have you on for 15, 20 minutes, and we will pull and announce that winner. And because we want to give the winner plenty of time, we figure if they know they're the winner by July 6th, that gives them plenty of time to arrange for a plane flight or other arrangements they need to do. But understand, if you're the winner, all you have to do is get there and get home. Your hotel room's covered. You got a $250 stipend, or basically a daily an allowance of $250 to cover meals or drinks, whatever you want to do during that stay. Your hotel rooms are covered. You're going to get a great tour of Kicker. You're going to get on the Unmasked live show that Tuesday night. But more importantly, you're going to get 2 packed days with Mark and the team there, learning and sharing about what makes a great sounding audio system. And so I guess what we need to know is what's scrolling across the bottom of the screen right now is how do you enter? And the link is kicker.fun/learn-SQ. And that link is live right now. You can go enter. And that link will be live up through Monday, July 5th. Mark, if you win, we can't let, unless you split the money with me. Then maybe I don't know.
Maybe it'll work.
We'll figure it out. I mean, you've got Ubers over there, and I'm sure there's some bars, so we can go find some teas, and we'll go from there. So, with that said, thank you for bringing that up. That's a good time. I really am excited to do this contest with you, Mark. I know that what you have to share is a wealth of knowledge, and any of us would be lucky to win that seat and go. Obviously, I can't. I'm not qualified, but I'm going to come and at least get the morning session Saturday.
There you go. Well, and if you don't win, there are other seats open. I've got, I think, 4 seats left for the August class. That's all. Actually, 3 now, because we're using one for this. So there's only 3 seats left.
So you had 4. We're stealing one from you tonight. So you got 3 seats left for the August class.
Yep.
So, so there's a comment we can't put up, but that's funny. I'm not going to touch it. I can't touch that comment. I'm surprised that Mike's not doing the curly shuffle in his seat right now from reading the comments, but we'll leave that one for another day. So I know we are right up against the window here. I think we're running just a little long. I hope everyone's enjoyed the show. Mark, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for participating in this contest. And obviously, Bill, if he hasn't already, Bill will reach out to you with the stuff we're doing on social for promotion, because obviously we want you to run this stuff on your Facebook and social promotion. So look for that to come from him. Mike, Jimmy, you guys are a hoot as always. Thank you for sharing those photos, those 2 vehicles, and that video, because that was a blast.
That was cool.
Thanks for having us. Thank you. Always a pleasure with you guys.
Absolutely.
I'm always going to reach out, because you guys, there's a lot of people that request to get you, all 3 of you, back into the feed and just talk about stuff. So we're definitely in the future going to get you guys back on. So thank you for joining us tonight. I know it's free time, takes away from your family and things you can do. So thank you for spending the 90 minutes with us. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. We're going to probably be seeing you at the Kicker Country Stampede too. So maybe we'll go live with you up there. So.
That's the countdown. And actually, it's funny you say that, because I was planning on that, because you said you were going to be there. So I was hoping. I was hoping to have you guys there and we could get you on live, but Country Stampede, we are going to do live broadcast there. And man, that's going to be a show, and I don't know good or bad as far as from the live production standpoint, because it's going to be Ernie and us trying to do it out in the field, so we don't know what we're in for. So tune in. It's going to be a barrel of monkeys.
Yep. At least 3.
At least, yeah. Orange whip, 3 orange whips around the horn. Yep. So with that said, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. Just go ahead and stay on the screen with me, or Ernie can do whatever he wants to do. I want to thank all of you for joining the show tonight. Sorry it ran a little bit long, but as you know, we try to keep it at 90 minutes. Thanks for tuning in tonight. It's my pleasure. We got Tim over here behind the cameras doing his best to keep up with 3 cameras and keep Ernie satisfied, who's behind the switcher. We got Jeremy scrolling the feed, looking for comments put up and making sure the feed goes out properly. And as always, we got Bill Frog back there answering the social questions, taking input. If you have any questions or input to this show, please, socialkicker.com. Love to get those. For the 200 and some plus employees here in Stillwater, Oklahoma, the heartland of America, we thank you for tuning in. Have a safe and wonderful week, and we will see you next Tuesday night. Have a great one, everyone. Thanks, guys, for joining us.